What's up, everybody, and thanks for being here with me today. I know it's getting that time of the year where everybody's starting to want to get out and do a little fishing. So for those of you who are considering doing trout lining and have never done it before, you're definitely going to want to watch this video. I'm taking some of the things that took me, several years to learn. There's a lot of options right now for trout lines, so I'm going to go ahead and help you kind of weed through some of that mess. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Let's first talk about trout lining for what it is, right? Trout lining is absolutely great to go out and catch fish. Here in Georgia, April, May, you can pretty much slay the fish on a daily basis if you put those trout lines out. It's a great way to catch a lot of fish. It's almost a certain way to guarantee a fish fry. It's also a great way to introduce kids to the sport. We all know how unpredictable catfishing can be, or any fishing or hunting for that matter. So trout lining is a way to go, and I'm not saying 100% guarantee success, but your chances go up drastically. So now, I started doing the trout lines because I didn't have a whole lot of time to spend just sitting out on the bank with the poles in the water. Like most of you, we all have busy lives, but I love catfish. Another step in the process for me was to start trout lining. Now, when I first started, there's a couple of options out there for you to buy. You've got your basic store brand ones. Like, when I say that, that's what you'll find at Academy or Walmart, places like that, places that most everybody can go to quickly. But they come in a couple of different variations. So I'm going to help you kind of get you through that, and some things you might need to consider before making your purchase, and some things you might want to consider if you're thinking about making your own trout lines. Alright, so when I first bought my trout lines, I bought them at Academy. They were cheap. I think they were 100 foot. They came with drops, hooks, the main line. I was like, yeah, this is it. I'm ready. Let's get it going. So I quickly realized that style that Academy sells, and if you look at trout lines, you know what I'm talking about. You've got your main line, and every 4 foot, yeah, something like that, it's got 2 little beads, and it's got a barrel swivel hanging down from it. This is the one I'm going to caution you to pick, not because it doesn't work, but because it is a real pain in the neck to get in and out of the water quickly. And as we go on through this talk, then I'll explain to you why that is. So with the barrel swivel kind, the ones hanging off the main line, you've got your drop. Your drop is what comes off of your main line with a hook on it. If you haven't saw any of my other videos on trout lining, I'll put a card up. You can check that out. It goes through the basic terms and stuff like that. But I guess this is a kind of an intermediate. I should cover it a little better. So your main line is the line that's going to go from your anchor point to anchor point. Your drops are your lines that come off of your main line that your hook's attached to. Right, so you've essentially got your hook attached to a drop, right? Well, that drop, you have to feed the drop through the barrel swivel, and you have to go back through itself to cinch it. So if you can picture baiting all your hooks and then having to pull your line out of the water, hooking on your boat or your kayak or whatever you're doing, and then run that through there and back through itself to cinch it, and then on to the next. Takes a lot of time. Takes even more time to get them off. You cleaning your bait off, it just takes forever. And you got to picture, most of your trout lines, like the ones that I always use, are at least 150 foot long. That's 50 yards. So if you tie it onto the bank and you're running out that 150 yard, or that 150 foot, you're 50 yards out in the water. That pretty much any time a boat comes by and you're running that main line, you're going to have to drop it. Or else when they try to avoid where your boat is or kayak is, they're going to get your main line caught in their prop. Where I fish is a lot of people. I'm talking about a lot of people. And you have to get in early and get out early. So I choose to do it as fast as possible. So I took my initial one, and then I went and bought snap swivels for them, thinking that was going to speed me up. And it did a little bit. You take your snap swivel, flick it off, attach it to the barrel swivel on the main line, clip it back after your hooks are already baited. It works it works okay, but unless you buy some real high, heavy duty barrel swivels, then you're going to lose a lot of fish. And if you do the math on the cost of the heavy barrel swivels versus what you've got invested, you could have bought any number of other better trot lines. You could even build your own at that point. Building your own is something that you'll do as you acquire the things to do it with. So I said all that to say a better option than the one that has the barrel swivels built on the main line, and you'll know it when you see the pack, because you'll have your winder thing that your main line's wrapped around. You'll see barrel swivels hanging off. It works. If you're in a place where there's no pressure, it's going to work for you. If you're in a place where you can really take your time, no reason not to buy it. It's a little cheaper than the next one I'm about to tell you about. Alright, so the next one, and the one that I prefer hands down, even after all these years, I still find myself picking up one or two a year, is the Magic Bait. I think it's the Big Catch Trotline. I'll show a picture to you. This is a good trotline. 150 foot, comes with your drops, comes with your hooks, but it also comes with your long line clips with barrel swivels attached. Now, if you do your research on these things, they're kind of expensive. Even if you buy them from over the pond, they're expensive. They're like $1 a piece. So most of the time, you can find these things like at Walmart, where I live in my area. You can find them for about 15 bucks for the package. You can get them on Amazon for around 25. But to build them, you're going to be in that $25 to $30 range regardless. So then you've got your time and everything else. So I would recommend your first trot line, whether you have the time or not, just for convenience, to go with that Magic Bait trot line. The thing with the long lines clips is that after you lay your main line, you get all your hooks baited, all your drops baited, and you start running your line back out. All you got to do is just depress it, and just clips right on there. Run down, next one, depress, and it hooks right on there. Depress, hooks, and same way for rerun your line. So every now and then, I don't always do this. A lot of times it's just a lay and pull the next morning. On night runs where me and the guys we're going to go out and we're going to hammer them, we check the lines every 2 hours. So the ability to rebait fast is there. So you're running your line, you pull off, say you caught a fish on this one, you net it, unhook it, boat, get another one, clip it on, you're on to your next one. So you're getting in and out quicker. It's faster than having to rebait. You're put new chunks on your hooks. If they strip all your bait off your hooks sometimes. So I like to use the long line clips for those reasons. And if you fish a highly trafficked area, it makes a lot of difference than having to drop that main line and start over. So a tip that I'm going to give you for that is, if you fish those areas, whether you use the long line clips or not, or the barrel swivel type, you can get you a carabiner, get you a piece of rope, and just go ahead and tie it to a bottle or a jug or whatever you have. And as you run your clips, jump your hooks with it. As you're going through, your hooks are every 4 foot, pretty much on any pre-made manufactured trot line. Unclip it and go to the next one. Clip it there, or just keep it beside you. And then if you see a boat coming and you know he's going to get to you, you don't have to drop your line, start over. You just clip that to your line. Make it maybe 10 foot long. Your cord coming off of your carabiner to your bottle. That way, when you drop your line, it's going to go down plenty far enough for the boat to pass over safely, and you don't got to start your line over. You can just grab your bottle or your jug, pull it back up, take your carabiner off, click it on your pants, set it on your boat, and keep on going. I hope this made some sense. And this is just kind of, if you're looking to get into trot lining, this is something that that you'll come into, and it depends on your situation. Me personally, I like to fish areas that are highly skied, highly party boated. This is a couple reasons that it keeps people out of there. A lot of people smoke the river systems, the Etowah and the Coosa. They get hammered for limb lines and trot lines and bank lines, brush lines, and all that good stuff. Well, the areas that I'm talking about, Lake Allatoona, that's closest lake to me, it is like spring break every weekend there on the lake. I mean, you could walk the boats. It's so thick. But in the afternoons when everybody starts to push out, that's when I like to sneak in there. So what that does is people can't fish this area because there's so many boats. I mean, I don't care if you have a big boat course. Yeah, I've got a micro 15-foot John boat, but I mean, you'll just get beat down out there. So go out right at dusk. I go out right at dusk when all these boats are pulling out. I sneak in there and I set my trot lines on those main drags, all that wake that they're causing, beating those banks down. I mean, beating them up. They'll be mud just scattered all out in the water for 20, 30 yards. So I like to go off of trees in those main drags where it's deep, and you would not believe the fish you catch, because for the most part it's unfished. You know, people can't go out there and fish unless they get there extremely early. So to summarize, if you're starting out and you're looking to buy a trot line off the shelf, you're going to have two primary types. There are more. There's an easy clip trot line. There's a couple you can buy from commercial fishing places. But I would recommend just starting out, see if you like it, because there is a lot of work involved. It's not, I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it. I recommend it to anybody, especially if you want to take kids or friends out, or you want to have that in-stone fish fry. Of course, nothing makes that. That's all going to be seasonal, bait related, and so on and so forth. But I hope this video helps somebody out. I had nobody tell me this when I first started, so I figured that's why I'd share it with you today. So I hope this helps somebody out, saves you some time, and helps you get out there after them fish. Well, thanks for watching. If you like the video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.